In my last video, White Series 55, we discussed the priority sector targets which are given for agriculture advance. Within that, we also learned the sub-targets fixed for marginal and small farmers, weaker sections, and micro enterprises. We also discussed the various types of advances which can be included as priority sector advance in agriculture sector. We have learned the agricultural finances given to individuals and non-individuals. Today, why this video series 56? Let us discuss the micro, small and medium enterprises. For this purpose, we need to understand the minimum qualifications which need to be satisfied for classification of an advance as micro, small and medium enterprises. For the purpose of discussion, we have taken the Government of India MSME Department Gazette notification dated 20th June 2020 and the RBI guidelines given on 2020 and also the further clarification given by RBI on 2/8/2020. As you are aware, prior to this Gazette notification, the classification of micro, small and medium enterprises definitions were different. There were separate guidelines for micro manufacturing, micro services, small manufacturing, small services, medium manufacturing and medium services. Now, why this Gazette notification given by the central government on 20th June 20, the manufacturing and services sector are combined together. Now, to satisfy the eligibility criteria for micro, two things are to be satisfied. One, the investment in plant and machinery or investment in equipment and also the sales turnover. To be eligible for classification and advance as a micro enterprise, the investment in plant and machinery and investment in equipment is fixed as 1 crore. Their sales turnover should be well within 5 crores. Which means if in a enterprise, if the investment exceeds 1 crore or the sales turnover is more than 5 crore, this cannot be classified as a micro enterprises. So now, as against the previous definition, two conditions need to be satisfied. One is the investment in plant and machinery and the other one is investment in equipment and the sales turnover. When we call it as plant and machinery, this refers to the manufacturing enterprise. When we talk about investment in equipment, that refers to the service provider. Now, when it comes to the small enterprise, the minimum investment fixed is 10 crores and the sales turnover fixed is 50 crores. When it comes to medium, the investment in plant and machinery or equipment is the ceiling is 50 crore and the sales turnover is 250 crore. Now, in addition to satisfying these criteria, any unit need to have Udyam registration certificate. Udyam's registration certificate. That is one criteria. The second thing which you should understand is, whenever any investment in plant and machinery or investment in equipment is taken, the investment in land and building, furniture and fittings need not be taken in account. They are excluded from the calculation of investment in plant and machinery and investment in equipment. That means when you assess the investment in plant and machinery or in equipment, the value of the land and building and value of the furniture and fixtures can be excluded. The next thing which you should understand is, whenever we are taking the sales turnover, in case any of the enterprises coming under micro, small or medium, any export sales turnover is excluded. That means, suppose there is an enterprise which otherwise qualifies for micro, small and medium, and if they are engaged in domestic sales as well as in export sales, the export sales turnover need not be taken into account to decide the sales turnover. Now, coming back to the movement of micro to small or small to medium or reverse, we have to take into account that if any of the unit which is a small unit, if its investment in the plant and machinery or equipment crosses 10 crore, that it goes up, or when the sales turnover goes beyond 50 crore, if any one of these conditions is satisfied, the unit will move from upwards. That is, if it is a micro, it will go to small. If it is a small, it will move to the medium. If any one of these criteria is exceeded, the unit will move upwards. Need not be that both the conditions need to be satisfied for upward movement. On the other hand, if the unit which is a small, if it has to come down to the micro, both the conditions need to be satisfied. I think I am very clear on this. There are two things. One, yes, small micro moves to small or small moves to medium. When it has to move upwards, any one of the conditions need to be satisfied. Whereas when it wants to come down, say for example, a medium wants to come down to small or a small wants to come down to micro, both the conditions need to be satisfied. These factors should be kept in mind. So for micro and medium and small industries, the MSME and the RBI has fixed two conditions to be satisfied. One, investment in plant and machinery and investment in equipment. Investment in plant and machinery refers to the manufacturing plants, whereas investment in equipment refers to the service provider. And they should have Udyam registration certificate. It is compulsory. Next, the export sales turnover has to be excluded for the purpose of deciding the sales turnover eligibility. And if a unit wants to move upwards, any one of the conditions need to be satisfied. If it is a downward movement, both the conditions need to be satisfied. There is no limit on the amount of loan sanctioned to be eligible for classification of micro, small and medium enterprises as priority sector. Now coming back to the next item, which is export credit. Export credit will be eligible for inclusion as a priority sector subject to two conditions. One, the sanctioned loan, the maximum is fixed at 40 crore. That is in case you have sanctioned any loan to an export-oriented unit and the sanction limit is up to 40 crore, that advance can be classified as an export credit. Now look here, this is not the only condition to be satisfied. It is subject to a ceiling of 2% of incremental increase in ANBC or CEOBE of the bank. I'll give you an example. Suppose there is a bank whose ANBC or CEOBE is 9,000 crores. And there is an advance account whose sanction limit is say 225 crore. There are number of units and the total units put together, the sanction limit is 225 crore. Now 2% of this ANBC, it comes to 180 crore, which means the bank can include export credit to the extent of 180 crore only for the purpose of priority sector advance. So the restrictions are: one, it is within the maximum of 2% of the incremental growth in the ANBC and CEOBU compared to the previous year. Suppose I have assumed that a bank which is having a ANBC or CEOBU of 9,000 crore, the 2% of that comes to 180 crore. And the total sanction limit of various export-oriented units financed by the bank is 225 crore. So out of this 225 crore, only export credit to the extent of 180 crore can only be included as a priority sector advance. Now we have seen micro, small and medium enterprises. We have also seen the export credit. Now let us come to the educational loan. Education loan which is given to the students for taking up studies either in India or abroad. The sanction limit is restricted to rupees 20 lakhs. Whether it is for taking a studies in India or studies in abroad, there is no reclassification. Any loan given up to 20 lakhs by way of education loan, whether it is for studies in India or studies abroad, will qualify for classification as an education loan. Now, we have come up to micro, small and medium enterprises. We have seen export credit. We have seen educational loan. Now let us think of a housing loan. Housing loan, it is classified as one in locations which are classified as metro and non-metro. For the purpose of classification as metro, the population in that place is 10 lakhs or above. Now any housing loan sanctioned in a metro where the loan amount is 35 lakhs, subject to the cost of house or cost of dwelling should not exceed 45 lakhs. Suppose somebody wants to buy a house worth 1 crore and he takes a loan of only 35 lakhs, that account cannot be classified as a priority sector. The investment proposed in the dwelling house should be maximum 45 lakhs. And if the loan is given up to 35 lakhs, in a metro, the loan can be classified as a priority sector. That means if somebody wants to buy a house, the cost of it is 50 lakhs. Even if the loan amount is 35 lakhs, it will not qualify for classification as a priority sector. Whereas in the case of a non-metro, the cost of dwelling is fixed at 30 lakhs and the loan limit is fixed at 25 lakhs. That means in a non-metro, if the cost of dwelling, that the investment proposed to be there in the house, is up to 30 lakhs and the loan is up to 25 lakhs, such loans will be eligible for classification as a priority sector advance. Now, similarly, we give loan for repairs and renovation of houses. Here again, the loans up to 10 lakhs can be classified as a priority sector for a repair loan in metro, again subject to the condition that the cost of dwelling is no more than 45 lakhs. Similarly, in a non-metro, we can give a loan up to 6 lakhs for the purpose of repairs and renovation, and to be eligible for classification that advance as a priority sector lending, the cost of dwelling should not be more than 30 lakhs. These are the stipulations for the housing loans, that is the sanctioned housing loan and also the loan that is sanctioned for the purpose of repairs and renovation. Now let us understand what is the ceiling for social infrastructure. Social infrastructure includes, it could be setting up of schools, drinking water facility, sanitation facilities for which activities are undertaken, where the loan amount is up to 5 crores. Whether it is for setting up of school or setting up of some water facility or setting up of any sanitation facility, if the loan amount is up to 5 crore, they are eligible for classification as a priority sector under social infrastructure. And similarly, loans up to 10 crore can be given under the Ayushman Bharat Yojana scheme. Ayushman Bhavan announced by the government way back in 2018. It can be in tier 2 to tier 4 cities. Any loan given for 10 crore for building health care facilities. For building healthcare facilities, any loan given up to 10 crore under Ayushman Yojana facility announced by the government of India way back in 2018 are eligible for classification under priority sector. And similarly, any loan given for renewable energy, they are also eligible for classification as a priority sector subject to certain conditions. The renewable energy means a biomass-based power plant, a solar-based power plant, or any windmills or micro-hydel projects. They all come under renewable energy. Any loan given up to rupees 30 crore, either to set up a windmill or a hydroelectric power plant or a biomass-based power plant or solar power plant, if the loan is given up to 30 crore, will be eligible for classification as a priority sector advance. Similarly, any loan given to individuals up to 10 lakhs for purchasing solar equipments, they are also eligible for classification as a priority sector lending. So under renewable energy, there are two classes. One, loan up to 30 crore. It is for setting up of solar power plant, windmills, or micro-hydel projects for power generation, and any loan given up to 10 lakhs to individual to purchase solar equipments. Now, RBI has made a change. Now, every quarterly priority sectors figures will be taken and the simple average is worked out to decide what exactly is the achievement of the target for priority sector. So with this, I have completed the priority sector lending in full. We have started with the overall target, which is 40% of the ANBC or 40% of the COBE. We also understood the agricultural target that has been fixed, 18%. Within that, there are some sub-targets which are for small and marginal farmers. We have also learned what are all the items come under the small and marginal farmers. And there is a sub-target for weaker sections. There is a sub-target for the micro enterprises. We also learned today the micro, small and medium enterprises where two conditions need to be satisfied. One, the investment in the plant and machinery, and the other one is the investment in the equipment, and there is a turnover ceiling. And while fixing the investment, we need not take into account the investment in the land and building, and so also the investment in the furniture and fittings. Similarly, in the case of a sales turnover also, we need not take into account the export sales if any micro, small or medium enterprises have complied with. Then we went to export. In the export, up to sanction limit of 40 crore, the loan is eligible for classification as a priority sector subject to a ceiling of incremental growth of 2% in ANBC or COBE. Then we went to education loan where it is 20 lakhs, whether it is for studies in India or studies abroad. Then we have seen housing loan for metro, non-metro, similarly for repair cost for metro and non-metro. And we have also said what I meant by social infrastructure, like setting up a school, setting up a sanitation facility, setting up a water providing facility. There the loan amount is up to 5 crore. Similarly, for the healthcare facilities for investment, loan amount up to 10 crore is eligible for classification as a priority sector. Then we have seen renewable energy, setting up of windmill, solar-based power plant, bio-based power plant, where the loan up to 30 crore. Similarly, loan up to 10 lakhs given to individuals for the purpose of purchasing the solar equipments are also eligible for priority sector. Another thing is that the government has fixed, the RBI has fixed certain incentives and disincentives, because there are certain districts where there is not much scope for giving priority sector. In there, an additional weightage of 125% will be given. Say, for example, some bank has achieved, say, 100 crore as priority sector, and if it is in an area, a district identified by RBI, where there is not much scope, then it will be reckoned as 125 crore and weightage of 125% will be added. Similarly, there are certain districts where there is an adequate scope for increasing the priority sector. There, if the loan given is 100 crore, that will be equalized to 90 crore, a reduction of 10%. So with this, the priority sector lending has been completed. In the next video, number 57, I will come out with a similar topic in banking. I hope you have understood this. And if you have understood this, please press the like button and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.